pledge. Hyundai UK is a credit broker, not a lender. Terms apply.
I value a name I can count on.
And there's loads of reasons to count on Vanguard. 1.
45 years of investment experience.
2.
30 million investors worldwide.
3.
3 years of being a Which recommended provider for SIPs.
And 4.
4 years of being a Which recommended provider for investment platforms.
We're counting on Vanguard Value.
Can we count you in?
Vanguard. Value to investors. Capital at risk. Tax rules may change. Eligibility rules apply.
Today's tale begins the night the internet went down at the Smith family. So, the dad watched on powerless as his son aged before his eyes.
The game has been loading forever. Save yourself from broadband nightmares. Get BT's unbreakable hybrid broadband backed up by EE, the UK's best network. Search BT Hybrid Broadband. 88% UK availability. 4G connection takes up to 165 seconds. Best for mobile network performance. Verify at ee.co.uk/claims.
That's some fancy looking Pilates gear, Miriam. It is. I bought it with my money from Vintage Cash Cow. Vintage Cash Cow? That's the one. I sent off my unwanted valuables in a box. Jewellery, watches, and those horrible silver candlesticks from Ted. Even the broken ones. Really? Yep. I accepted an offer 3 days later. I wouldn't have known where to start if I had to sell everything online. To discover the joy of less, text VINTAGE to 60777.
Mystery Hour with James O'Brien. This is LBC. 12:49 is the time. Louise is in Derby. Louise, question or answer?
I've got an answer for you, please.
Carry on.
I'm going to try anyway. So it's to do with why babies don't repeat the say bit when they've been told to say mummy, say daddy.
Yes.
So it's mostly to do with the kind of sounds that they're able to articulate at that age. So they're not understanding the verb, the instruction say. At that stage of their language development, they're just mimicking what they can hear around them. And so that's why in most languages, the words for mum and dad or mama, dada, papa, or
so simple.
with M or D or P because they're easy sounds.
The first thing your lips can do, different from sort of crying and keening.
Absolutely. And if you think about how difficult it is to produce the letter S sound,
Yeah. It is
it's
different.
something that they don't learn how to pronounce an S until much later in their language development.
So they might even be trying to repeat it, but they're just
Yeah, they
failing.
probably are.
So they're going,
because the vowel sound that we hear is like a schwa sound. It's like just an unstressed vowel. So they're not saying ma. It's just like ah. It's basically like your voice box is in neutral, and it's just
great stuff.
and they learn how to put the lips together and press out the air to produce that up sound.
Love it. Qualifications?
I did a degree in linguistics about 15 years ago.
I bet you had no idea it would ever come in so useful. I'm joking. I'm sure you've put it to enormously good use.
For a while.
A round of applause, I think, for Louise. That's a beautiful answer. Thank you,
Thank you
Louise.
very much.
No, thank you very much. I love that. Professor Hal is here. I can't think why. Hang on, let me go through my list. Is it Cameron's head?
No, he's not. Hello, James. It's about frozen tomatoes.
Oh, yes. Go on.
Yeah, you remember Professor Smith and I had a head bump on this some years ago, and I saw him off. And can I say, I happen to know that my daughter Tamara is listening, so pay attention. I will be asking questions.
Fantastic. Pay attention, Tamara. Take care.
As you widely pointed out, when you've got your root system in, the tomato is part of the organism, and it's a living, breathing thing. It's just not breathing, of course. But as soon as it's picked, it's not. And the reason that you can't thaw food and then refreeze it is when you thaw it, it starts spoiling. You put it back in the freezer, the bacteria go to stasis. When you bring it out again, you've forgotten that it's started thawing, and it continues to rot. So it's very little to do with the process of freezing. Now, vegetables, funny enough, when it's icy, they put lots of sugar into their sap, which drops the freezing point of their sap. So it's a defense against freezing, which is why carrots taste very sweet after a frost and so forth. So broadly, once you've picked it, it's dead and it starts rotting. As long as it's on the tomato plant, it's alive and it's got turnover, and therefore, and plants have actually got a very.
But will it do you harm if like a frozen tomato thaws and then refreezes?
Well, the thing is, if it's on the tree and it freezes, literally the cells get burst, so it dies. I'm struggling with the notion that it.
I was as well. I thought that
Joel probably just in second place, but you're going to have too much on your plate with the new baby to play mystery out, so hang in there.
If you missed any of today's show, you can listen back on Catch Up on Global Player on the Whole Show podcast. You'll also find all of LBC's shows to catch up on, as well as the world's biggest podcasts. Did I mention the podcasts? Download Global Player for free from your app store or head to globalplayer.com. Coming up at 4, it's Tom Swarbrick, but now, strap in. It's Sheila Fogarty.
Absolutely. Yeah, never a truer word today, I have to tell you. At 3, the government reveals its plans for school-aged children who have additional educational needs, so let's see what you think of those. At 2, there'll be a press conference around the Manchester Arena bomb. The third part of the inquiry into it, it will refer to the security agencies and what they could have done to stop the bombing. We'll go live to that press conference at 2. I want to begin with the WhatsApp messages. I was going to talk about the treachery versus public interest line, but then something happened to me personally this morning, or I received personal news this morning about some family members of mine. And I'm going to pivot and have a conversation about what these messages reveal about the sheer contempt that this government holds you in.
On your radio, on Global Player, and
Play LBC.
leading Britain's conversation. This is LBC.
From Global's newsroom at 1 o'clock, teaching leaders have condemned leaked messages between Sir Gavin Williamson and Matt Hancock. The former Education Secretary appears to accuse staff of looking for an excuse not to work during the pandemic. Schools Minister Nick Gibb has defended the government's decision-making.
My viewpoint is that we had to take very difficult decisions in dealing with the pandemic. Of course, we wanted to keep children in school, but we also had to deal with a new virus against which humans did not have immunity. So we had to keep people alive. Saving lives was a key priority, of course, during that period.
Former Health Secretary Matt Hancock has described the leak as a massive betrayal, but journalist Isabel Oakeshott says she makes no apology whatsoever and claims to be acting in the national interest. Boris Johnson says he'll find it difficult to vote for the new post-Brexit trading arrangements agreed by Rishi Sunak. The former Prime Minister says the Windsor framework is not about taking back control. He's been speaking at the Global Soft Power Summit in London.
I'm going to find it very difficult to vote for something like this myself, because I believed that we should have done something different. No matter how much plaster came off the ceiling in Brussels.
The Prime Minister's new deal replaces the Northern Ireland Protocol Boris Johnson negotiated and is broadly supported by the Conservative Party. The father of the youngest victim of the Manchester Arena bombing says MI5 have blood on their hands. A report into whether security services could have stopped the terror attack in 2017 will be published this afternoon. An inquest has heard the former head teacher of Epsom College died of shock, hemorrhage and shotgun wounds. Emma Patterson is believed to have been murdered by her husband George at their home in the grounds of the school last month. The couple's 7-year-old daughter Letty was also killed. And WH Smith has become the latest high-profile company to be hit by a cyber attack. The retailer says customer information is not affected. LBC's business commentator Declan Curry has more details.
The company says some company data has been accessed illegally, including information about current and former workers. It says its investigation into the incident is ongoing. It stressed that there has been no impact on its trading on the high street or at its airport or train station shops.
In the city a short time ago, the FTSE 100 was trading down 9 points at 79.05. The pound buys $1.19 and €1.12. LBC weather, bright with sunny spells across northwest Scotland, Wales and southern England. Elsewhere, largely cloudy with a few light showers in the north and west, a high of 10 degrees. From Global's newsroom for LBC, I'm Amelia Cox.
Okay everyone, this food looks great, but the photos really need some work. Dev's new culinary magazine is launching soon. He needs a food photographer to help get them amazing exposure. Okay, let's find someone who'll do these dishes justice. Indeed can help him find great people fast. I need Indeed. Indeed you do. Sponsor a job on Indeed to unlock more tools that save you time and help you hire quality candidates. To start hiring, visit Indeed.com/try today. This is LBC.
teacher, feel free to give me a call and comment on that. But I think rather than discuss whether these WhatsApp messages are indeed in the public interest, as the woman who's leaked them, Isabel Oakeshott, claims, she says the ones she used for the book that she co-wrote with Matt Hancock were the ones she used for the book. She was left with hundreds of thousands of words and individual messages that she's since gone through and believes, she claims, that they're in the public interest, that the messages themselves are in the public interest, about what they show about the inner workings of government during the pandemic. And they certainly do show us something about the inner workings of government during the pandemic. So far, I reserve judgment on whether they show us anything we didn't really already know about the handling of the pandemic in a serious way. Anyway, we knew that the Department of Health and the Department of Education were at loggerheads over whether schools should close and why. We know there's still an ongoing debate, both out with and within the scientific community, about masking. We know already that the government were late to act on COVID. We know that they were too hasty further down the line on the Christmas opening up, and on it goes. But I think what screams from these messages, and those ones about educators, teachers and the education unions, show it more than any others, I think, that we've seen so far, but there's going to be more, and into the weekend I'm sure they'll save their best till last, is the contempt that these government ministers hold you in and hold the rest of us in. And like I said just at the end of James's programme there, I was going to talk